Good day, my little teacups. I'm just going to preface this video by just quickly saying that, at the time of recording this originally, I was immensely tired. So I do ramble about for a bit, just warning you ahead of time, and also I do talk about one or two topics that are a little bit more behind the curtain of being a YouTuber than usual. So they're going to sound a little bit odd if you're just an ordinary viewer type person. That's all I'm basically saying. I've been umming and erring whether to release this video and discuss these topics for quite a while, but I do think that I need to actually address them. And I do think that whilst I am quite rambly, I address them pretty well and pretty genuinely here. I want to make sure that I'm always honest with you guys, so here we go. Good day, my little teacups. Nothing special, just thought I'd really have a bit of a natter with you for a bit. Okay, so just knocking off the main 2 points that I want to talk about. Firstly, streaming. Noah talked about it before. I did actually try and take some photos of this to show you, but unfortunately they haven't transferred at all well, so they've kind of mangled in the image and everything's in shades of green, so I won't be able to show you exactly what I mean. But turns out the internet isn't as good as I thought it was, or rather it should be, but it isn't because I'm involved. I'm sorry in advance, I tend to get slightly pissed off about this topic. In short, the internet is actually strong enough for me to stream. What's wrong with that? Well, I'm in just an inconvenient wrong place, which means that I'm just too far away that you could stretch an Ethernet cable. I mean, really, from the landlord's room where all the internet comes from up to mine isn't especially doable, now is it? Then that's an issue. And the Wi-Fi, well, because they live in a stone box of a room, doesn't reach me. This leaves me with two choices. One, I can pay the extra money and have my own personal internet connection installed, but then if I do that, I don't have enough money for the faster one, which means that I end up at the same speed I was at my last place, which is awful, and I'd rather take the second option, which is that we've switched to this sort of thing called power line, which is where you like plug in something to the actual wall sockets, then into the hub, and then at the other end you plug it into the wall and then the computer. And it basically turns the power line into an Ethernet port for the electricity, if that makes sense. You like use the mains electricity as an Ethernet cable, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, and here's where I get angry, this is supposed to work. We've made sure that we've got one with a good enough range, got one with a good enough power, but for unexplainable reasons, it just doesn't work right. It's nice and fast, but it's inconsistent and has a tendency to randomly just turn off all my internet. And this doesn't affect anybody else. It doesn't affect any issue. The phones are fine. Everything can connect perfectly well. People who are using the same power line over a slightly different distance are perfectly fine, but just my room doesn't work with it. So I get really fast, fine internet, and then suddenly nothing. And stop. And it's gone. Or, basically, as I wanted to try and show with the photos, but I won't be able to, effectively, there's a system of 3 lights on the box. The first 2 lights don't really matter, but the third light's the important one. That's the sort of how strong is your internet connection. Now, when I first got here and we first did this, it was green, and it was solid green, and it was fine, and that's when I made the video about I could possibly stream. And now it is 90% of the time red, which is bad. It's got only green, orange, and red as the settings. It's now 90% of the time is red, and maybe for a couple of minutes at a time will it go green. So that's wonderful. So that's the reason that I won't be doing streaming, unfortunately. I really, really bloody wanted to, but if I can't guarantee that the internet's actually going to stay on for more than half an hour to an hour, I can't really do that, now can I? 'Cause that would be a little bit weird to everybody, and when it turns off, there's no guaranteeing when it'll be back. Sometimes it's back if I just press a couple of buttons and do a troubleshoot. Sometimes it's back if I march all the way down there, turn it on, turn it off again. Sorry, turn it off, turn it on again. Sometimes it comes back in half an hour or an hour. Sometimes it went out for an entire day. We've had men down to look at it, nothing. I've phoned up the people that I got the power line from. They have no idea. PC repair shop, no bloody clue. It apparently just seems to be a problem unique to me. Fabulous. Anyway, we're going to move on to a more positive point now. It's going to sound like it's negative to start off with, and then I promise it's going to turn positive in a moment. Right, so I don't want to say this, but I feel I do have to address it at some point, otherwise I'm going to explode. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but the channel growth has pretty much stopped. Almost dead. And nothing that I could seem to do was able to stop it. It's been on a steady decline since just before I came back in June. In fact, that's one of the reasons why when I came back in June, I said to myself, right, I'm gonna hit it really hard. I'm gonna, make 2 videos a day, try and wrap up as many series as possible, make room for some new ones, and still nothing happened. The views have almost completely dropped off. Obviously all growth has dropped off, and we're not getting anywhere near as many comments as usual. It feels a little bit like I need to step in and do something to try and breathe some life back into the Over-Englishman, as he is, because at the moment he's drowning. When I say this, I really don't mean to sound selfish, or to sound like I am not appreciative of what I have. I do, honest to God, love every single one of you, and you guys make all of this worthwhile. At the same time, I really do just want to see this community grow, though. I want to see something be made out of this, that we can improve some people's lives, and not in the grand sort of Markiplier, I am Jesus kind of way, but in the sort of just making people smile. I just want to make more people happy. That would be nice. Just to know that we're reaching a few more people and just putting a bit of sunshine in their day. That's no grander real reason than that, to be honest. And so, in the interests of that, I have been thinking about this. As I said, I've been trying to make 2 videos a day, and that didn't slow anything down. I released more Undertale, that didn't slow it down. So, we're in decline. But I've decided that that's not an issue, and instead what I was going to think about was, how can I be better for you? How can I be better for the people that actually do watch? How can I be better for those of you who've stuck around through all the breaks, all the hiatuses, and oh God, everything, and my endless stress meltdowns in the comments where I will occasionally tick, 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 boom, and I'm so sorry for those of you who've been stuck on the receiving end of that. Okay, so here's what all this building up to, and here's what's going to go on. I've actually drawn up a schedule. Yes, good fucking lord, I've finally drawn up a schedule. What is it now, almost getting on for a year of the channel, OEM, and you've finally managed to create an actual schedule. Yes. We're going to be sticking to the 2 videos a day thing to cover as much ground as possible. And here's how the schedule is going to break down. I'm going to put it on the About page for the channel as well, but you guys get like a sneak preview, put it that way. Monday, Danganronpa. And I'm going to be premiering it soon, but a new series. And for those of you who love Amnesia, it's kind of in the same vein. Let me just put it that way. So a lot more silence, squeaking, and just generally OEM being a complete scaredy cat. Next up, Tuesday, we've got Headlander, which you've already seen the first episode of, but that's going to be actually making a regular appearance, and all these are going to be on a regular cycle. So that will be the day of the week they come out until that series is done. And when that series is done, they'll be swapped out with something else. But so Tuesday, we got Headlander, and Honey Pop is finally coming back, because God bless you, one of the teacups has managed to buy me a copy of Honey Pop to replace the one, of course, I don't have access to anymore, as I was playing on my former girlfriend's version of it. So, Honey Pop is coming back, for those of you who enjoy me being awkward of a day. Wednesday, we got Shadow Warrior, and it's going to be either Half Minute Hero or Mark of the Ninja. Mainly because I want something where I can just have a bit of variety of video, just, play around with it a little bit. Thursday, Dark Souls, and a series that I'm not going to talk about right now, because I kind of want it to be as a little surprise when it comes out. Friday, yes, I knew it still began with an F, is going to be Danganronpa. Yes, again, I know twice in a week, but look how big the game is. I'm never going to cover it before I'm 65 if I don't do something about it. And either Yesterday, so that being the kind of point-and-click puzzle adventure game, I don't really know very much about it, just a lot of people have recommended it. I don't even know how long it is, so we're going to be diving into yesterday on Fridays, which is a very strange sentence to say, and kind of rhymey too. And if it isn't yesterday, it's going to be a one-off episode, because I'm bringing those back. I've got far too many games to get through, and I need to test drive a few series for y'all. Then we get round to Saturday, and I'm going to say this, I'm probably going to regret it later, but we're going to try anyway. Saturdays and Sundays are going to be game diving / it came from the devs, and the voice-acted LPs. I'm going to actually set aside a time of the week where if I've got them available, if I can, they will be posted. So they're going to come on weekends, and I'm saying this in as strong a tone as I can to try and will it to come true. If I can wrangle all the people for Undertale, and if I can wrangle my voice together for the other ones, then voiced ones will appear on weekends. I do not know why I mutated into a sheep right there. I'll confess, it's very late in the day. I haven't slept in a couple of days. I am very tired, but I am very determined right now. So, that's all I really have to say, to be honest. This has been a long, rambling pile of shit, but hopefully it's been pleasant to listen to. Thank you very much. Love you all. And farewell, as we onwards our way into a new age of over-Englishmen. Ooh, lordy-loo. Oh, while I remember, no, I'm not quite done. For those of you who are wondering what's going to happen to Darkest Dungeon, if you missed the comment I left on the last Darkest Dungeon episode, it's on break at the moment, and I'll be explaining why on, if I remember the date off the top of my head, but I'll update it in the comments if I can't remember it, the 23rd of August. I'm going to shoot for it to come back and hopefully be done on the 23rd of August. I've got something planned, but it's going to take some while to set up, so sorry in advance about that one. But that's what's going to happen to Darkest Dungeon. Now, love you all and farewell. For real this time. Sorry, I'm really confused.